I'm going to talk to you about how to expand a topic when you're writing or speaking English. Some of you might remember that last time I dyed my hair, and you can see that under sun, it has quite a pretty color, right? It's not pitch black anymore. I've been using a hairdryer that I bought on Double 11, and you can see that in my box opening video, it turned out to be quite good for my hair. The shampoo and conditioner are just very ordinary products that I bought in Chiang Mai in the summer, not expensive products, and I can totally see the difference the hairdryer has brought me. And also, I am right now wearing the shapewear that I recommended to you. It's really, you can see, it can really make your body slim. Okay, that's enough with the small talk. I just thought these feedbacks might be useful for someone who watched my previous videos. So let's get started. First, I want to say that you're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed, actually encouraged to think in advance, whether you're speaking or writing, but you do have to accelerate that process, especially when you're taking examinations. This method I'm going to teach you also applies to the problem when people don't know what to say next or what to write next. You already have a topic sentence, you already have a point, what you're going to do next. Okay, here I'm going to sum it up in one sentence. That's actually a little bit vulgar, but it's definitely easy for you to remember. It's called, okay, prepare yourselves for this. 一对假体员. 一对假体员. Let's break it down for you. 一 means one person, right? So you can think of your personal experiences. That's actually the last thing I want you to do. It's really like when you can think of nothing else, you can use your personal experiences. This is not encouraged, especially in academic writing. Going on, we also have 对. Actually, there are two very useful strategies that I can think of when talking about 对. The first one is 对比 comparison. The second one is 对立 like contradictory. Let me give you some examples. We're talking about whether young people should spend their parents' money after graduation, right? Then of course you can make comparison between old people who have no financial burdens and people who have strived to make money for their offspring their entire life. So you have something to say there. When we talk about contradiction, I actually mean that there are often some concepts that go hand in hand. Like you can talk physical, you can talk mental, you can talk realistic, you can talk one's ideal situation. You can also talk about like influence on individual and on the whole society, like a couple of concepts. That's how you can break one topic sentence into like two mini points, and you can go from there. For instance, we are already talking about the negative influence of such a phenomenon on elderly people. We can say from two angles. One is that physically speaking, it's going to take a toll on their health because they have less time to rest. And then mentally speaking, it is stressful to have to provide for a family. And of course, you can talk about influence to individual and to a holistic community. Like by individual, we mean a certain group of people, like youngster, right? Like elderly people, we just talked about. And by society, we mean that you can talk about to the detrimental effects on economy, social values, education, something like that, the big topics, right? So with that, you will have a lot to say. Remember, there are two layers of meaning to 对. We can both talk about comparison and dual concepts. And then we have 假. This one is quite self-explanatory. We can always talk about ifs, right? If the older generation fell ill, if a child is raised under such circumstances, right? So with ifs, you can always have a lot to talk about, but you should review your knowledge concerning, subjunctive mode. That can showcase your mastery of English grammar. It's not complicated or difficult at all as long as you find the right teacher. You know what I'm implying? I have such courses, of course. And then going on, we have 体. 体 means 具体, which means to specify. You can always break down bigger concepts into smaller concepts. Like when we are talking about elderly people, there are, more healthy elderly people. There are people who have a lot of family savings and who are broke. You can break down these people into categories like I just said. You can also break down concepts. And then we have 原, which is also quite easy to understand. It means 原因. Don't underestimate yourselves. You are full of imagination. Think about the time when you had to come up with like an excuse to account for your tardiness. When you have to, for example, ask for leave when you really don't have something important going on. So I know that you can do this. You just have to deploy that imagination, right? And sometimes there will involve phrases like because, sometimes not. Let me give you an example again. Like, in some cases, young people will have to spend their parents' money. In today's society, with rapid development and urbanization, the cost of life can be, rocketing. So it is only normal that sometimes young people cannot support themselves. You cannot expect somebody to graduate and all of a sudden can afford everything, right? So there, I give an explanation without using the phrase because. If you look at simple answers of IELTS writing test, you can see a lot of, paragraphs were developed in that way. I actually have to be somewhere really quick. If you guys like this kind of video, please let me know. And